Have you ever wondered how major label operates in other parts of the world? Well, if you have, then you'll definitely want to check out our sit-down interview with Bello, A&R executive for Warner Music Sweden. We discuss how certain international territories are more open to new artists than others, what he looks for in new artists that he's willing to sign, and much, much more. Right now. Hey, it's Rich Ezra from MUBUTV, where our mission is to educate, empower, and engage recording artists and music business professionals from everywhere who are dedicated to having a successful career in the music business. We're coming to you from Muse Expo in Burbank, California, where we managed to catch up with Bello, who is the managing director of Asylum Nordic and Warner Music Sweden. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
You know, you ran an independent company before. You had 2020 Records, and now you're running the Asylum Nordic, which is only the third division of Asylum since its reboot from the United States and Europe. Excuse me, United States and England. Tell me how the experience that you had before helped prep you for this new A&R job at Asylum.
I mean, I started out 2020 Records, founded 2020 Records, which was based on management. From the beginning, I started managing one of my close friends, and then did a project with Swedish House Mafia with him. And then after that, I actually got really interested in getting to know the label side of it as well, after the management side. So I started signing artists to my label instead of just working on the management side. Had a successful run with local Swedish artists, who's Nordic och done like 300 million streams out of Sweden. And then I was interested in the publishing side because I felt like the publishing didn't do enough work. So I needed to get into that business, start signing producers and writers. So got involved in that and had an amazing run with them. They like one of the best out there in Sweden as producers and writers, and did international cuts for her and Megan Trainor and stuff like that. And to be with that, I had a 360 setup, which is 2020 Records. I did open up a 5-studio complex in Sweden with studios, offices for the creatives to be able to be part of and work. So that was mainly them, working with them all the time. And to be fortunate as well, I had Quincy Jones as a mentor, has been my mentor for like 12 years. And been consulting for some of my artists and producers as well. So it's been fortunate to be able to be back and forth LA and Sweden a lot as well in the meantime.
Okay. You are signing a lot of new artists at Asylum Nordic. Can you talk about the kinds of artists that you want to be bringing in to that particular system as it's part of the Warner Music Sweden system?
Yeah. I mean, Asylum Records is really interesting. Of course, started with David Geffen, who is an amazing legend. And to be able to have Asylum as a name, as a part of Scandinavia, is thrilled. I'm happy. But the way is to really, with Asylum, and my goal with Asylum is to build the bridge between independent and major. And that's my focus, and have the creative freedom for the artists, but to use the major resources in the channels to be able to break artists and develop artists, and not just songs, develop artists from scratch and build them as artist career for long term. So that's my focus.
So it sounds like you want to find talent at a different level than perhaps a major would on their own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not just like finding artists that you give them the creative freedom to do what they want, but you give them the guidance to be able to take it to the next level and become superstars and guide them. Where do you give them the tools and the resources that's needed to be able to take the next step, but you also give them the creative freedom to do what they want? Because now I feel like we are changing with the music direction, with all the digital stuff that's coming, and the new generation is catching up to stuff different what we used to do 20 years ago. So it's really important that you learn from them, but at the same time, you guide them as well.
Right. You know, I couldn't agree more. I think we're in a whole new era where, you know, there's new ways of doing things and new ways. And a lot of times I think, you know, we're sort of at the beginning. I mean, you're in the major label system,
right,
and nobody knows. It's kind of like the Wild West. We're all sort of in reinventing this, but you're seeing it. You're seeing it right on the creative front lines with new talent and the new vision and the new consciousness of artists.
And the pace of releasing music and the pace of being in the studio and the pace of the social media and the freedom to do more than what the majors usually does. So, and I think that's really important to be able to give them that platform and give them that freedom and create a space for them to do what they do best, and us to be able to get along and help them on the way and give them the resources and the investment that they need to be able to do what they want.
Okay. Beyond talent, beyond great creative talent, you've been in the business long enough as a manager, as a label executive, where I'm sure you must have come across situations where you love the music, but for whatever reason, you don't have to name names. No. You said, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm not going to get involved in this. And I'm wondering if, now as managing director of Asylum, if you could talk about the non-creative aspects that you look for in talent that you're wanting to bring into your label. What are the, non-musical and non-creative aspects that you're looking for in the people that you're wanting to get into business with?
People that I really want to sign is artists that has confidence, know what they want, ability to work hard, and of course, talent. And the reason why I'm not saying talent doesn't come first, working hard come first. That's really important. I've come across a lot of artists that have talent, but heart doesn't have the ability to work hard. They don't have the vision, and open to listen as well is really important for artists, to listen to executives that really understands and can guide them all the way. That's really important. But working hard, seeing the vision together with the team is really important.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, a lot of artists have talent, but they don't have the drive.
No, they don't have the drive.
Drive to say, this is the most important thing in my life. This is my life. It's sort of...
And the least thing I don't want to see is like, I want it more than an artist. That's where that's not going to work for me.
Yes. Andy, why am I blanking on his name? The manager of Rob Zombie, he once said a very interesting thing about that. He said, when I'm managing talent, he said, one of the first things I look for when I meet with them, if I want it more than they do,
that's not good.
No, I run. It's just,
that's real
work at all.
Important.
You've spoken a lot about vision and the talent and the drive. From your point of view today, given what you said about the changing marketplace, how important is it for you to feel that artists who are pursuing this as a career need to be educated about their chosen career paths? I mean, to learn about the business, to understand what it is that they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's very important for them to understand the grounds of where they are and how they want to do the music, and be educated enough to know their field, like what scene are they going with. I mean, art from everything. To be educated about, if you want to be a live artist, make sure that you check 100 hours of live artists across generations. If you want to be the best pop artist, make sure you go way back in history and learn about them. I think that's really important. But it's also important to find your identity, who you are as an artist, to be able to present it to the world.
Okay, so having a real knowledge and an understanding of who you are as an act, that's very important.
Yeah, that's really important. And beside like all the details, once you come across the team and the management, they will have to have the knowledge, of course, to be able to help you on the way to be able to be a star. But you need to focus on you, and the rest will come.
You mentioned the word just now, team and management. I'm curious, from your point of view now as an executive of Asylum Nordic, how important is an artist team when you're considering signing an act? Does that factor into it, or is that not a factor in your decision to sign an act or not sign them?
Signing an act from the beginning, I think it's really important that they have a team, but it's not necessary all the way. But I think it's important that they build their own team. Why I'm saying that is I come from an independent side. I built my own first team, and having artists that have a manager, having artists that have, I don't know, friends that assistants, and working with them, always in the studio with them, giving them support and giving them guidance. And I think that's really needed for artists. But it necessarily doesn't have to be, because if I find an artist that I feel like I really believe in, I will definitely make sure on the way that I find a team around her, coming from Asylum or coming from finding a management who I know on the side that could be perfect for the artist. So it's different ways to look at it, but at the end of the day, artists always need a good team that they can rely on, that can motivate them and to have the vision with them and go along the way with them all the way.
Okay. When you're signing talent.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Are you looking at just the Nordic market, Asylum in Sweden, or are you looking at a broader international space for the talent? Is that a criteria?
No, broader international space, and that's where I wanna cross borders. I want to have artists that cross over, and I feel like it's possible today with the whole digital and the social media and how everything is so global today. And I look for artists. It doesn't matter if they come from Brazil, they've come from UK or wherever. If it's an artist that really touches me and have the talent and the ability to work hard, I'll definitely look at the artist and have a potential to be able to take him into Asylum. But I definitely have to look into, okay, does this work where in my market, and how can I cross over it and present it to my partners in different territories to be able to have a global release on this artist.
Speaking of international markets, you've had a lot of experience as a manager and as an independent label with 2020. In your experience, are certain markets on the international side more open to new artists than others?
Yes.
Talk about that.
And I will say that because it's depending on territory to territory, of course, but going to France, it's a territory they don't really take in. They really are focusing on what they doing in France. Like, the radio station is very interesting that I think it's 60% of the music have to be in French. So in some territories, it's even harder to get in. In some territories, they're more open. And I feel like American has been very open to new artists coming from, UK, from Sweden, like Sarah Larsson. So it's mixed in that way.
Okay. You've been a manager, you've been a label executive, and now you're running a label for a major label group. In your experience, what do you feel are the greatest challenges you face with artist development today? You've had sort of 3 different levels of experience in the business, so you've seen it from 3 different sides. From your point of view now, what do you see as the greatest challenges that the music industry faces for developing new talent?
It's a platform that I love, that's Spotify. But I feel like it's really important for the major labels to keep building artist career. Spotify is not building artist career, it's building songs. And I love Spotify, come from Sweden. But I feel like that's a challenge that we face today. We need to keep building legends and artist careers for long term. Spotify will release 30,000 songs a day. And it's hard to catch up with all the songs. I think the challenge that we are facing right now, how are we building artist careers for long term? And how we coming out with music that's timeless, that would release for a year, 2 years. Now you have a song after a year is old. After 1 month, it's old. So that's the challenge. And that's just being the new generation, how productive they are. But in that sense, I think that being productive and finding a way to have those joint forces on building artist career, I think that will take it to the next level if we do that. And that's what we need to do. If you look at the old generation where we were building legends, and we have legends, and it's hard today to build legends as well. See, that's a challenge. And I think that we have amazing legends, just how we are consuming music, how we're listening to music today and the music that we're putting out today also.
So it's a quality issue as well as a quantity issue.
Yeah, it's a quality issue as well, and it's also about platform issue also. How are we promoting? How are we marketing? And I think that's something that needs to be addressed as well in some places.
Kit, I want to talk to you about the area of your career, which has been focused on A&R, and that's really where your talents are focused now. We're running Asylum. For someone who's interested in a career in A&R, what'd your advice be to helping them develop steps to achieving that in the music business? If they want to be an A&R person, what are the important things you feel they need to be doing?
Passion for music. That's most important. You have to have passion for music to be able to be A&R. Work hard, have your ears open, and listen to all kind of music. As Quincy Jones was telling me, Michael, when he put up his music, nobody knew it was. It was a bit of that jazz. It was a bit of blues. It was a bit of urban. It was everything in mixed. So you need to really open up for music. But most important, have passion for music and have your ears open and follow what's going on with the new generation of the new world, with Spotify, with the internet, social medias. Be aware, be first. Make sure that you don't sleep on talents.
Okay. All right. So keeping aware, keeping abreast, educating yourself.
Yeah.
Having that. For artists who want a career in the music business, new artists that want to make this their life, what is your advice to them in terms of what they should be doing? I mean, you're now in a position where you're looking out for talent. So what are the things that you feel new artists need to be doing if they want a life in this business?
So I was saying, working hard, never give up, and don't take no for answer. Believe in yourself, keep working hard, because working hard means that you're training every day. You're just going to get better. And once you get there, you have it all.
So, what did you think? Some really valuable insights on the international perspective from Bello, one of the leading A&R executives in Sweden. So, insiders, here's the question of the day. From our interview with Bello, what were the most significant points that stood out to you? Was it that he ran his own independent label prior to becoming the head of Asylum in Sweden? Or was it his perspective on the international market's openness to new artists? Or perhaps it was something else altogether? We'd love to hear from you and connect in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to MUBUTV for more information on how to educate, empower, and engage your music career. In addition, we recently put together a free guide on the best strategies to use when contacting A&R executives. This is extremely important before beginning your journey. So, if you're interested in receiving it, we've included a link to that in the description below. It's totally free, and it goes through the top do's and don'ts before you even think about reaching out to A&R, such as asking yourself, is my music 100% ready to go? Making sure you don't include attachments of any kind in your email, only direct links to either your Spotify or SoundCloud account, and much, much more. This is an incredibly crucial guide into learning the art and etiquette of connecting with the A&R community. So if you're interested in receiving that, we'll link to it in the description below. You can also check out a summary of this episode, everything we talked about in the description below as well. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd really love it if you hit the like button and let us know what other kinds of videos and types of content you want to see on our channel. Hit us up in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.